how to be parents or how to be a mom. There's no manual to it. So as you grow up and they're around and they're trying to be around and they want to be around and all that good stuff, you have to be open. You have to allow that, and not just for them, for yourself. Everyone just grows at their own time, but everybody advances. It's always advancements. There's never anybody downsizing or going backwards or anything like that. It's like always moving to the next step and, talking with each other to get to the next step. To get to the next step. I can speak, I can talk, I can inspire, I can change the shift of the room. I have discipline, motivation, self-motivation, God-fearing, all of those things.
Hey y'all, welcome to my very first episode of Beyond the Face podcast. I am your host, Shayla Dominique, and I'm here with none other than my bestie, my rider, my girl, Eminent Buera. Now, some of y'all may know her by Eminent Buera. Some of y'all may know her by Bouncy. What we getting today, friend?
All of them.
Oh, clock it. Thank you so much for coming for my first episode. I really, really appreciate this. This podcast is more than glam. It is beyond the surface. It's beyond the skin. It's the stories deep within. So we're going to come at y'all with the realness, all the things that shapes us to the women that we are today. So first icebreaker. Now, I know the answer to this question.
Okay.
If you was on a deserted island, what's one makeup product that you can't live without?
Lip gloss.
I already knew it because look, she already shining with the shade.
I'm weak good oil. Yes, exactly. I wake up out of my sleep to put on lip gloss.
I already knew the answer to that question, but just so y'all know, she loves her lip gloss. She got about 7 of them in each purse. But yeah. Fun fact about Eminent.
Right.
So we're just gonna get the glam going, have deep conversation, not too deep, or just bob or whatever. And let's get into it.
All right.
So we just doing a nice little soft glam today.
Okay.
Cool.
And my color changes often. I'm not sure what season I'm in right now.
I know we gotta figure it out. It's one of them.
Right.
So we gonna figure it out as we go.
Okay.
So the main reason why I really wanted you on there because we have so much in common. We've been through so much of the same type of situations. We both were, raised by our grandmas and, just pretty much put us in the place that we are today. So, how has that shaped you by being raised by your grandmother?
I think the values that my grandmother brought to me was something that was very old school. It's kind of as we go throughout life, me and you, with different things that happen in our lives, we're always like, okay, it's kind of a blessing and a curse. So I would probably say my heart, just being very gentle, watching her in an older age, bring so many people in and take care of people, and the way she was always forgiving, not really holding any grudges and stuff like that. I think that's more so, a quality of a grandmother back in our days. I can't talk about for the new age grandma, but from what I
new age
saw,
grandmas be outside.
Yeah, they sit outside.
You got to buy the babysitter for the babysitter.
Exactly. Okay. Right. Exactly. But back then it wasn't like that. Grandma's in the house and really just laying down the law and examples of different things. And being raised in the household with her, being married, I was able to see that old school love. So that's very tough nowadays because things have just changed so much. So it's a big difference, and it does play a part in how you're raised, how you think about things when you get older, and it shows.
Do you think that those times have changed?
Oh yes,
just generally like
a whole lot of different changes. Some very strong values that I may have that I've been seeing challenged these days would be the provider aspect. I'm just gonna jump right into the number one. For me, just watching my grandmother and watching my grandfather. Now she did her part. I ain't gonna say she didn't do her part, but as far as providing for the house and making sure everything was done and vacations for the kids and all that good stuff, those things were taken care of. She was more like the backup as opposed to the new age things that are going on right now. And granted, women were more powerful than we've ever been, but that was kind of the rule. It didn't matter who was more powerful or not.
Oh, that
they still made sure that, certain thing we're going to take care of.
Mm-hmm.
So that 50-50 thing, I could never. I could never. So that's kind of tough.
Yeah, so when I was growing up, I didn't really know much about what was going on financially in the house, but I knew that my grandma did work, but she didn't work like that. And my grandfather worked as well and did his thing, and I just saw the certain, you know, things that happened in the household, like whether it was okay, she cooked and cleaned, she made sure that everything was good. He went out and worked, but he still provided, and she did her part as well. Like you said,
Of course.
She did her part. So those things like that really like just set in with me.
Right.
Just growing up and seeing all the different changes. But like I said, things have changed.
Yes.
There's a lot of different, just society nowadays is so different. And what we learning and what we seeing on social media and all the things.
Yeah, social media is definitely a thing, and I think, like you said, with the times changing and stuff like that, even if that person isn't a 100% provider, it has to bring something else of value to the table. It has to be something else, especially growing into a powerful person. They have to bring some attributes that you can't just buy. It has to be some priceless things that they're adding to your life in order for them to be an essential.
Right. Yeah.
So it's different. But talking to different women, you just learn different aspects of different things.
So, and also with all that being said, and I want to just thank you so much for, you allowing me to have a safe space with my mom. We both have our moms in our lives, but, our grandmothers raised us. But, just us going out with our moms, taking them out, like doing Mother's Day, activities with them, like it's so much fun. It's so much fun. And we have a good time, and they have a good time.
Exactly.
So, that was like, that's always a special, moment for me, just hanging out. I want to do more of those activities. But okay, yeah,
I get what you're saying. By us being raised by our grandmothers, that's been the leading lady in our life for so long, as far as guidance and watching her and everything like that, or whatever. We have to remember that our parents were kids having kids, right? So they didn't know, how to be parents or how to be a mom. There's no manual to it. So as you grow up and they're around and they're trying to be around and they want to be around and all that good stuff, you have to be open. You have to allow that, and not just for them, for yourself.
Yes.
Whether you know that inner child is crying or not, that child is inside wanting that and needing that. So I think that plays a lot. And besides, waiting for my mom or my parents or somebody to reach out to me, I reach out first because I need it, I need it too. And, it's fun to be out with your parents. It's fun to be out with your mom and get to see her be a girl.
Right.
Because
dressing all up. You're dressing up.
Okay. Lie. She's one of the girls.
Yes, she is one of the girls. And I love that. I love seeing that. I love seeing her flourish. I love seeing my mom flourish. Them two together just, they are like two peas in a pod. You would think they've been knowing each other for 20 years.
Yes.
But they only known each other through us, which is crazy.
Right.
But, it's really good.
That gives them a bonding time. That gives them, they have something in common. Each up. So I like to see them out together and calling each other and, linking up to do different things.
On their own time. Without us.
Yes.
But when we go out, it's a good time to just show them, the way of the world nowadays. Because it's different, from, back then. It's really, really different.
Right. And they love to see us still growing up. We're still growing. We're
absolutely.
Grown.
Right.
So
we still the babies to them.
Yeah. So it's fun to them to see us in our element, allowing them to be a part of it.
Right. Yeah. So we both now we finna go to something a whole nother level.
Okay. What you got?
So we done both been married, right? And we both been divorced. Okay.
That was a thing.
It was a thing.
It was a thing. It was a.
What was your take on all of that? Like, just
it was a goal at first. You know, it was a goal to be married again because of the way that we were raised. That was what we thought that we were supposed to do. That's what we saw. And so therefore it was a kind of like a goal. Like that was something that you know, according to our ages and all that different stuff, you know, we think that we have a timeline on that's a part of the accomplishment. Right. Or what have you. So at a certain age, you kind of feel like, okay, it's time. And mine was at 30. It was like a light switch, like, hold up, girl, it's time to get married.
Yeah.
And
I think mine was 2.
No, what was it?
I think it was 20.
I don't even know.
Do you feel like it's just kind of erased out of your memory? Because for me, it has. And that's not I don't know if it's a bad thing or if it's something to where, you know, you want to just kind of not go back to that space, but not forget it completely so that you don't do those same things over and over. But I feel like I've kind of forgotten a lot of things.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's a part of like anything, you know, if it didn't work for you and, you know, it wasn't in your best interest, you know, you kind of block it out.
Yeah.
You don't want to dwell on something all the time and remember every single detail and every single whatever.
Right.
You have to move forward and allow new thoughts to come in. So, you know, I remember some things, but there are a lot of things that I'm just like, what? Okay, glad it's over. And it wasn't super horrible. I'm not going to say that, but it just wasn't for me at that time in my life.
Right.
I thought that's what I needed in my life, but it wasn't what I needed in my life, especially with the transition and the person that I am now. There's no way he can handle who I am right now.
Oh, honey.
No,
too hot to handle, baby.
Too hot, baby.
Period.
Yeah, no. He couldn't handle any parts of anything. You know?
So do you think you've grown from...
Oh, yeah. It's taught me a lot of things. Oh, yeah. Communication-wise with people, patience with people. It's taught me a lot of different things. Where before I was the person to shut down and not really talk about what's going on. Well, now I'm going to voice it. Because now you know. If you're still doing the same things and you know, then you got a problem.
Yeah.
As opposed to making myself miserable for 2 or 3 weeks.
Not saying to you. Exactly.
Coming home, being in the house.
Just miserable. No, not even wanting to go to the house, period.
Right. Yeah, at the shop all day. No. And all night. Listen.
12, 1 o'clock in the morning.
Listen.
Just not wanting to. Yeah, no, I want to.
Yeah, it's confrontational.
Yeah, it's confrontational. Yep. Absolutely.
Yeah. So I definitely communicate more. I overly communicate to where there is no misunderstanding. I'd rather you talk than not say anything at all. Right. Because then I'm uncomfortable. And then I can't work and I can't be creative. And now you're messing with my money.
And that's not mess with the money, y'all.
That's
at all.
Okay. Mess with the money. Bills gotta be paid. Bills gotta be paid.
No, yeah. That's absolutely true. Like I 100% agree. And back then, you know, I worked during the day and I used to do any and everything to just not go home, you know. Oh, I'm going to here. Straight off of work. I'm going to the mall and I'm going to here and I'm doing any and everything in the book to not go home to see, the same old crap going on.
Right.
Like,
are they still mad?
I ain't got things are not done in the house. Like, you know, all those little things that just trigger the wrong side of me, you know?
Yeah.
And so I think for me, when I turned 30, it completely changed my whole perspective of, I guess, what life is about. Like I was trying to live a little bit more. I was trying to travel. I wanted to do a lot of different things and I just wasn't free enough to do that. And so ultimately you just get unhappy. You get, you know, miserable. You just don't want to.
You're like in a cage.
You're in a cage.
Yeah.
You're in a cage.
Yeah.
So
I think that what probably would have helped me in my situation would have probably been marriage counseling. Because once we did the counseling afterwards is where we found out a lot of different negotiables and non-negotiables. So I think that if those questions had been answered in the beginning, we probably would have never got married. Because it was we were completely opposite. We were really looking at each other like, hold on, you feel that strongly about it? But we didn't know until certain conversations came up. So,
so I was gonna say, like, did you feel like that you found that out about after all the things went wrong?
Yes, we didn't find that out until afterwards because that's when we went to therapy afterwards. But also at the same time too, we were in marriage counseling. At the same time, I was going through therapy for my friend that unalived herself. So that was that probably was the wrong time to do that.
Anything.
Anything.
No, I
because
remember
I was
that.
very stubborn and very like, I don't want to hear
Yeah.
nothing you say
Yeah.
because something bigger is on the plate right
Yeah.
now.
I was
So-
there with your friend.
Yeah,
I was
yeah,
there
Yeah.
out and just all the things
Yes.
that is going on. And I know that, you know,
Mhm.
yeah,
It was a lot.
it was a lot.
It was a lot.
It was
And
a lot.
even during those times being married, you would assume that I would have I think we would have probably would have made it if he was able to put his feelings on the back burner for a moment and allow me to breathe. Because at that point, you know, good friends and best friends are like life partners.
Mhm.
So to lose that at the drop of a dime the way that it did, right, was traumatic. So here I am facing all these traumas at one time, and he just being selfless, like, let's go to marriage counseling.
Yeah.
I ain't trying to be here, you know?
Yeah.
So
No,
that was
absolutely.
tough.
Same. Yeah, I lost my grandmother, and that was a shock.
Yes, yes.
That was a shock for me, and that was unexpected, and it was just all the things like you just don't know that's going to happen.
Right.
And when you don't know how to grieve, you don't know how to feel.
Yes.
You're trying to figure it out, whether it's going out, whether it's staying out, whatever it is. You're trying to figure it out, and
While you're still working.
while you're still
Life is
working,
still going on.
life is still going on. Things are still happening. Life is still lifing. The bills still got to be paid. You're still trying to figure it all out while you have somebody right here
Still wanting you to be
the same person.
Yes.
And this happy-go-lucky when I can't.
Yeah.
Like I just lost the person that made me and put me to this level. Like no.
Yeah. Yeah. The duties they expect to still be there. And it's like, hold on, give me some grace right now. Give me a little time. Let me this is an adjustment I didn't expect.
Exactly.
And there was
It's
no yeah, on that side to allow me to do that. And I just felt like it was just selfish and I'm nowhere near that person. So you should have given me a little time.
Mm-hmm.
But being that didn't happen, things just
you get turned off. Nothing's cute, nothing's exciting anymore. Nothing is, it's just blah.
right.
It's just blah.
Right.
So when I lost my grandmother and then I lost my grandfather, I kind of knew how to navigate afterwards with everything. I knew how to kind of communicate a little bit better, but still I was angry, still going through because not really grieving from grandmother, but still trying to figure it out for the next time. And
Correct.
Making sure that I don't make the same mistakes. Did I do something wrong? And still taking the blame. But a lot of the crap that I really know that it's not my fault.
Yes. The hell.
And that happens. And it's so unfortunate that people can't, realize that sometimes they're so, manipulative or, just trying to figure it out on their own time and thinking that everything that is right about them.
Right.
And what they're saying is right.
It's right.
It's not
and that's
right.
it.
That's all that matters.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so girl.
Yeah. That was a lot.
A lot.
Yeah.
A lot.
But when I look back at it now, it's been over 7 years for me, the divorce. I was married for 7 and it's been over 7 now. But he wouldn't be able to deal with how I am now.
Yeah.
It's completely different. Even being a business person, that was tough. It almost became kind of a competition and kind of a thing where you're getting too much attention and it's like,
you're gonna get that attention, Frank.
Yeah.
I got you.
Listen, okay, people gonna come up, they're gonna talk to me for different things, and he would get annoyed when people would come to the table and when people would talk, a butterfly in public, here, this or that. Okay, but you trying to cage this butterfly.
So when did you realize that it was them and not you?
Just being out and just watching how he would move, because after a while I got very cautious of how I moved and just trying to be more considerate of how he felt when we were in public. And I started to make more gestures so that he would feel important. I introduced off top, turned the affection up a little bit, to where he knew that I was being, letting people know that he was my man, right, or whatever. But that didn't matter to him. He still was, we can't have dinner in peace. We can't this, we can't that, or excited to show the business when people came into town but couldn't really stand it. So I was like, okay, you want to show it off, but you're not being supportive.
What is that called?
I don't even know.
insecure or? But you want to show the business off. You want to show
it off. I want you to
pride
have
possession that he has.
yeah. Only when it suited him. Ooh, only when it suited him. Yeah. Good man probably for somebody else. I always say that too. I don't want to take that.
Yeah.
Good man for somebody else, but just not for me. No female problems at all ever within that whole time,
Right.
which was different. Yeah. 7 years, no cheating, no extraness, no nothing.
Yeah.
You know, that's something you got to be grateful for these days because
facts.
Yeah, it's supposed to be a given.
But sometimes, depending on the person that you're dealing with.
Can be a good man for somebody else, just not for me.
So after all of that, this season feels different, right?
Oh, most definitely.
What does it feel like for you?
This season I've had a lot going on. So apparently after the divorce and all that stuff, you know, there's been so many years in between that. But just being a businesswoman, being a family person, my just 2025 things have gotten easier. The load has gotten a little lighter. I lost people you know, in between that time and coping and grieving and managing so many different things in life is a roller coaster. But this year I have decided to like just take a couple things off my plate because I went and just put too much on there real fast.
Do you think that was from all the things that you went through? You're trying to keep yourself busy?
Yes, definitely keeping myself busy. Overcompensating for success makes me feel like I'm making a difference, or that I'm going against the grain of what people feel like I'm supposed to be, or what the typical Black girl is supposed to be. So here I am, you know, serial entrepreneur, got my hands in some of everything. Here's overdoing, and then I'm getting burnt out. So I'm like, you know what? Let me take some of these things off my plate and allow myself to enjoy the fruits of my labor. You know, get some balance back in my life because I had just taken up all of my time. Businesses and doing different things. I don't have kids, but I'm a full-time everything. Full-time daughter, granddaughter, friend.
Auntie. She gonna be there for any and everybody, y'all. Honestly, she is like everybody's sister, everybody's mentor, everybody's resource. Like we go to her for any everything. Like y'all can call Eminent for whatever y'all want to, and she gonna know. She gonna look at that bone, honey, and it's gonna pull up, and she gonna have it for you. And I appreciate that. And so also too, just giving you your flowers for putting me in this space that we're in. We've been in the same shop for somebody asked me this the other day, and I
think we've been in this location
7 years.
I think it's either 5 to 7, but then we came from the other shop.
Right.
We right before. I don't even know.
It's been a while.
Yeah.
I came from my bathroom doing makeup. Literally all of us being in little location.
Yes.
So that's been so great for me, and I just appreciate all of that.
Oh yeah,
all of that.
Definitely.
Yes.
Having all of you different women, it brings things to me as well. You know, you guys aren't just tenants and friends like that. You know me, better than all of them. So you're able to tell, like, okay, sit your behind down, rest, come over here, give me a hug, and then I'm just like broken down.
Oh, that has happened so many times. I just know.
Come here.
Yeah.
Like she's not the most affectionate person. But when she see me looking a little rusty, come here. And that means a lot because it doesn't. A lot of people don't see that with me. They don't get to see that vulnerable side of me. So you're able to notice it when it does happen.
Yeah.
And
it from me for a couple of days. I'm like, wait a minute, now.
Like, where's she at?
Yeah. So it's been good. It's been it's been a good roller coaster up and down, but still able to. Like pull it together, pivot to where we need to pivot to, and just all the things. So how you feel about running your businesses and having all of these women that are under your umbrella of
it's a good feeling. It's really, really a good feeling. Contrary to the belief of what a lot of people feel, or a lot of slogans they say, oh, Black women don't get along, oh, I don't hang with girls. Oh, I'm gonna be around females. I don't this, I don't that. You know, I've been a whole lot of, mostly all of my tenants have been women. And in one way or another, I'm not gonna say everything has been peachy keen 100%.
Yeah.
But it hasn't been anywhere near the horror stories that I hear that happen in other shops or, between different girls. Most of the time we're collaborating, uplifting each other. We all become family.
Yeah.
After a while, the tenants become real close with us. Their kids become close with us. We collaborate or do things separately or refer to each other. It's been really good. It's not the typical shop vibes that a lot of people complain about.
Right.
It's actually been really, really good. I've been blessed to be able to see everybody flourish in their own light. I love to see it when you guys take a day off or when you have your balance, or I'm the only one in these shops. I'm like, right. I'm like, oh yeah, they got this down pat. They figured out their schedule to make it work for them. And everyone just grows at their own time, but everybody advances. It's always advancements. There's never anybody downsizing or going backwards or anything like that. It's like always moving to the next step and, talking with each other to get to the next step.
To get to the next step. Exactly.
They're always judging and talking with each other to be like, hey, what you think about this? What you think about that? And respecting each other's opinions. Whether they say it or not, we just listening to it and be like, all right, well, yeah, I like that. Or, no, well, maybe wait a week ago.
Right.
'Cause I'm a little jumpy.
Yes.
I'm a little jumpy.
She gonna do it. If she said she wasn't done tomorrow, she gonna do it tomorrow.
Yeah.
But you know what? I love that grit about you. So, it's good to have those type of people around you because, you can't have just any old body just hanging around, just not flourishing around you because where does that lead you? You know what I mean? So it's good to have those type of people around you. Right. And so like when you said, people feel like in the shop, like the horror stories that you hear, people will look at us and be like, oh, they think they're this, they think they're that because of how we look. But when they get to know us, it's completely different. Completely different. It's nothing like what the stigma is nowadays. Yes. So, I just love that about us and love the fact that, we could be in that moment, be in that space and uplift everybody. And that's what this podcast is about. We're going beyond the face. Yes. Going deeper within and all the things.
Yes. I hear a lot of people, when they come in, they may feel something, they come in, it's nice. The vibe is nice. They're comfortable. Yeah. They're just like, oh my goodness, the music's nice. Smells good. Okay.
Oh my God, it's so pretty here. We hear that all the time, and I love that. I love that.
Yeah, you have to set the atmosphere sets the tone of the client.
The client. Oh, exactly.
When they come, they're like, "Oh, I feel like I'm," and that's the way it's supposed to be.
I can't come in here, with no whatever on or talking loud or just doing all the things that we don't want.
Exactly. They can point very fast and they love it.
I love that. I love to see it. Yes. I be people walking by, we seeing them like, okay,
they change up.
We changing up like, oh. Let me turn this phone off.
Right. Out the speakerphone. Exactly. That's not the mind for here. Oh yeah, definitely. And it's always positive. So whether they're having a bad day or not, a lot of people will come in and be like, you guys really just shifted my energy.
Right.
Like I'm gonna have a great day today. Because everything's just so positive. I'm not me mugging at the desk. It's hey, how you doing?
Yeah.
It changes their whole persona once they come through or when they're leaving. So I think all that makes a difference.
And now you got everybody in here.
Yes.
All the suites are filled.
Yes.
What you feel about that?
I feel good. Yeah, I feel really, really good. I feel like we have a good squad here with us. Everybody gets along. I love it. I feel it feels complete, because this is kind of like the home where I work at and where you work.
Right.
So that was very important to me to get the right people here because we're working with them all day, all night.
Yeah.
These people are like our family. Sometimes you spend more time with them than you spend with your family.
Exactly.
So that was important, and mostly everybody that's here has been with me for a long time. And so bringing everybody under one umbrella feels really good.
Yeah,
it was really good. A lot of weight off my shoulder. Yeah,
that's awesome. All right, so what's your advice for women that like has gone through any major life changes or losses or anything like what we've been through?
I would probably have to say there's really no answer to that. I would say by the grace of God, I was able to make it through a lot of things. I'm sure a lot of people noticed when my whatever happened with my friend or whatever. I literally probably took off about a year, like for myself.
Yeah.
That was very, I had my ram in the bush, so I was able to do that. And then, alongside with having my friends here in the business to continue things going, that helped me to be able to move forward. So I would say, having your tribe, having your people, having your money ready in the corner. You never know when things are going to happen.
Right.
It messed me up a lot. It messed me up mentally. So there were times where I felt like I couldn't get to the shop and I couldn't do things. And of course, you're dealing with customers and they don't give you no grace. It's like you have to give a disclaimer, like, oh yeah, by the way, blah blah.
Yeah.
They feel like they're supposed to know every single thing that's going on in your life personally. They don't ask Mr. Walmart why you had an attitude today, but when they getting held to a different standard, so it's kind of rough. Trying to keep going. And yeah, besides you being a person now, you are a walking brand. And now they expect for you to be the same exact way every single time that they see you, not knowing that we have personal lives as well. Right. Customer service does keep going, but we have personal lives as well. So I would say just have grace with yourself and have an important, have a reliable squad to stand behind you, and your mate has to be very understanding when you're going through things, and just keep one foot out, because you can lose everything in a flash.
Yeah.
And I've been at that point as well. But I've just been very aware of those things. In the middle of your grief as an entrepreneur, you still kind of got one eye on what's going on in your business and one eye on the other side.
Personal, right?
Yeah, what's going on in personal life. So, and at that point, that's where you pivot. Sometimes now you're like, hey, I can't hold on to this and that. Something got to go.
Right.
And unfortunately, sometimes it's things that are going on in your personal life that you're not supposed to be holding on to anyway.
Right.
So, yeah. So that's a thing.
So what's something that you let go that you felt like did not hold on to?
My husband. He had to go. It was heavy. He had to go.
Wait, I wasn't ready.
He had to go.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. And I feel lighter. I feel better.
So was it the husband or just the marriage? Because there's a difference.
Both. I would say both. It was probably not necessarily the word marriage. It was the relationship. It was the expectations of it. Like when I was going through what I was going through, I still was technically the wife, but you still wanted all the responsibilities as a wife. You expected those duties as a wife while I was broken. Ooh. And I couldn't do those. I couldn't do both.
Right.
I couldn't do both. And honestly, with the mentality of me feeling like my own expectations of what a marriage is supposed to be, and now he's voicing those things. It was too heavy. It was too much. It was overwhelming while I'm trying to do other things. And that was in the beginning of my business. My business was nowhere near what it is right now. Right. So I know I could not handle that type of relationship
with what you have
where I am.
Because you got a lot.
I have a lot going on. A lot going on. I have a big shift in my the way I am with my relationships, the way I am with my parents, a lot of different things. I could not handle that type of heaviness. I've always been close with my parents, but it's a thing where, losing my aunt and losing different people, it brought me closer to realize like, hey, time is of the essence. Time is of the essence. And so every year and as things go by, now I reflect on different things. Like I'll be 45 this year. And it's a little, I'll be 45 this year in August. Yeah.
What?
And, yeah.
Where we going, friend?
I know. We're going to be going somewhere. We outside. But
45?
45, baby girl.
Where? Honey, black don't crack.
Low mileage. Low mileage. But it makes me reflect back. Oh, you count them, baby. I ain't got to go to my toes. But it makes me reflect back to my aunt, because she was 45, and it's like it makes you feel like, life. It is, things aren't promised. Exactly. Things aren't promised. So it's like, now with me going into this 45, it's like, hold on, Trinette didn't make it to this. Like it was shortly after this that my aunt passed away, and it's like someone that young in the way that I feel now going into 45. I'm like, I'm in my prime. Right. I got so much more knowledge, so much more everything, appreciation for life, like all of those things. It's like, so it's my Trinette year. I'm going into my Trinette year this year. I'm ready to have a good time. Like I'm his door. I know. Yeah, I know. So just more meaningful. Just a more meaningful life. Yeah. That's very important with everything that's going on today. Just have a more meaningful life, purposeful, intentional.
Yeah, intentional is a good
Intentional.
word.
Mm-hmm.
Like just everything, like, and I feel like that word has been sticking with me a lot too. Like just getting up and doing things and being intentional.
Intentional.
Doing it.
Literally
like,
scheduling.
figuring it out,
Yeah.
figuring out a way and just doing it. Like making it a purposeful day, you know, just putting all like just everything.
Right. Yeah. Everything. Everything's very intentional. You know, when I'm out and about and I'm seeing these young girls and, you know, some of our clients, when they bring their young girls in and they're talking and you may see that they're having a hard time, you know, getting through to their daughters and stuff like that. I'm intentional by, sometimes I may overstep my boundaries, but sometimes kids don't listen to the parent. You know, they need a backup. They need that other person that, you know, the mother can probably be a bad chick. But then they come in and they see me and I'm another bad chick. And now I'm preaching the same thing that their daughter is teaching.
But they can receive it.
Now they can receive it differently from me. So I've been purposely intentional about that when these girls come in for prom or when they come in with their, you know, and they want to do different business ventures and stuff like that. I'm more intentional in stepping in because when I was younger, women were intentional with me. And, you know, your environment and stuff shapes who you are.
Absolutely.
You know, all these women that were around me, you know, some were housewives, some were judges, some were teachers, some were, you know, different things. So I had a lot of different women to look up to, you know, and I think that that's very important, you know, and then loving the skin that you're in. You know, I dealt with colorism. I'm sure you have as well. I went to, it was so bad. I went to a all white school. Like, you know, that's why a lot of people feel like I'm not from here because they've never seen me. A lot of people don't know me. Oh, you must not be from here. You must not be from here. I'm raised in the raw. I'm right there in the raw where you from. But I had to go to Jupiter because it was a thing, you know, and I'm black. You know, both of my parents are black, but it was a, you know, light skin thing. You know, light skin against the dark skin. Pretty privilege is the new word. Ugh, it kills me. I can't. But, you know, it's all about how you, you know, present yourself and how you whatever. So, and that's something that I still struggle with, you know, until people, it's almost like you got to beat them down and let them know you have to change their mindsets. Because there are a lot of people that at our age still are still stuck on colorism or pretty privilege or different things. You can have other attributes that you know, right, get higher with, you know, because they can be just stuck on that. They be stuck on that. They be stuck on that to the point where you have people that want to be darker and then people that want to be brighter.
Yeah, I never understood that.
Just because of that.
That's not
racism in our own society.
That's not out of my control. That's out of my control.
Yes.
Yes. Can't put too much energy in it.
Mm-hmm.
So talking about colorism, how has beauty changed your whole perspective?
I think, you know, with the whole, I think the word pretty privilege is something that just came out probably like the last 2 or 3 years. I never noticed that sometimes that's maybe what it is, but once I realized that that was a thing, because it kind of sort of is, I started improving on other things, the way I speak, the way I carry myself. Right. So where people don't look at me for who I am, but I also have something to back it up. Right. So with having the thing that attracts them to talk to me, I really have something to say when they do talk to me.
Right. So you're not looking at that.
They're not looking at that anymore. There's knowledge to back it up. So when people are looking for someone to give an opportunity to, they're attracted first to the pretty face or to whatever they may see. And then I have something to back it up. So I'm not just that. I'm a businesswoman. I'm a powerhouse. I'm someone that can change the room. I have something to say. Right. It's not just the girl that's in the corner that's pretty that ain't got nothing to say, has no knowledge. No, I can speak, I can talk, I can inspire, I can change the shift of the room. I have discipline, motivation, self-motivation, God-fearing, all of those things.
All of the things.
So, you know, I think all of that had to play a part. But at first I didn't like how I looked. You know, I was, like I said, I was being raised in Riviera. Inside of my household as well, I was the only bright skinned girl with curly hair. Everybody had a Jerry curl. I wanted me a Jerry curl. And although they loved me in the house, you know, the public on the outside was kind of rude. Like, what are you? Are you Spanish? Are you this? Are you that? You know, and I never felt like I belonged until like later on in life. I was just like, it don't matter, you know, what they feel. I see where all of this is taking me. So yeah, that was awesome. Yeah.
I love that for you, friend.
So now I'm all into me, honey.
All the beauty things.
I'm black.
I'm not proud.
But they didn't know. Mama and Daddy black.
So the role in makeup. Now y'all know I'm a makeup artist. I've been doing your face since the beginning of time in my little bathroom. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes.
So how has makeup played a role in your like self-esteem, your confidence? Like what are some of the things that you have like you do that just makes it?
It's really not anything that I do. It's probably more so of the things that you do. Oh. So when I get ready to do my photo shoots, or I have somewhere that I'm going that I want my best face to be shown.
Best beat.
My best beat.
Best beat.
Yes, not drag queen. My best beat to be. I make sure that I come to you. I ain't got 2 hours to sit in the chair. Oh, I'm just saying, I don't have 2 hours to sit in the chair. I want to be in and out in 30 minutes. You understand my schedule. I ain't got to beat up nobody when I come in here. Oh. The environment is set. The mentality is set when I come in and when I leave. So it's more so not necessarily what I can do. You know, when we first met, you took me out and we ordered all of our stuff, and you were just like, hey, use this, use this, use that. Was very helpful in the beginning because I had no idea what to get and what to grab. And you were just like, no, you use this, you use this, you know, and then as the seasons change, you'd be like, oh no, Beret, you need to use this, you need to use this, you know, but for my fashion shows and when I want a different look, you always execute. And so that's the thing.
You can tell me do whatever you want.
I know, but you always, it's always, but you always nail it. And so I think with the makeup, it helps when you're going out. When you're going out and you're trying to do a different vibe or a different feel or whatever, you want your look enhanced.
Right.
Enhanced. Because you're not clever.
You be beating your face.
I can do a little something, but I had that contour line over here the other day, and it looked like I
was like, Fred, what's that?
A whole beard.
I was like, wait, give it a thing. I gotta blend it in.
Not a whole beard. So it's like, no. So when
you guys
for the makeup,
selfish, like how this look, but
that's what I need to start doing with the light on. So that was
No, but you do good, and
thank you.
I see you.
Thank you. Thank you.
So with all that being said, what would you tell your younger self?
My younger self, just to be patient. Be patient with yourself. Things are coming. You know, I think I've been very always feeling like I'm in a rush. You know, people put stipulations on when you're supposed to have certain things done. And their time isn't your time.
Right.
You know, it's put fire under me, but at the same time, it's been stressful. It's been really, really stressful. And I think that stress is put on a lot of the kids these days, and they can't handle stress the way we did.
Oh, no.
You know, and that's a whole nother
topic. Crashing out now.
Bad. Like, really, really
I don't like that for them.
I don't either. Like, we dealt with a whole lot, but I think that with social media, they have a lot more pressure than we had.
Yeah.
You know, definitely. So I would probably say be patient with myself.
Yeah.
You know, whenever, you know, a certain birthday comes around, anyone that has to do with a 0 and a 5, I get very, very strict on myself. Like, girl, did you do this, and this? And I start rushing myself and pushing myself, not noticing that, you know, I've accomplished. I've already did.
Yeah.
But the bar just keep going.
Right.
And it's like, girl, you have surpassed a lot of the boundaries and a lot of the goals that weren't even on your list. Be grateful for that. So just be patient with yourself. And just, you know.
So what in that moment, what makes you realize that you've accomplished so much?
When I sit back, you know, when I sit back and really, when I'm still and it's quiet and I make myself look at what you've done. Yes, I really have to make myself look at it. And once I do start looking at it, it appears more often.
Yeah.
Like, we've been in this shop, like you said, anywhere from 5 to 7 years. It's something that's here and it's something that's constant. But at least once or twice a week, I walk in, I'll be like, Lord, is this mine? It's yours. You know, I'll be like, oh, I did it. I made it. You know? So it constantly like something like that. Or the last sale that I did, it was just like, hold on, little black girl. Yeah, hold on, little black girl from Revere. Did you just close a deal like that?
All right.
You know, and it's like, yeah, you did.
Yeah.
You did that. So when I feel rushed now, I'd be like, nope, stop and enjoy where you are right now. So that's where I am right now. Just enjoying what I've done.
Yeah. I think for me, I journal a lot, and I've been journaling since I was a little girl. Like, I found a diary when I was like maybe 8.
Oh, wow.
And I've been writing things down for a very long time. So I'll go back at old journals and like look at the things that I've said that I'm doing. So I think that's my stillness.
Yes.
That's my stillness.
And knowing that,
Yeah, just going back and just saying like, oh my God, like I said I was going to do this, not necessarily time-wise, but just writing it down that I've done it or that I wanted to do it.
Right.
Whatever that letter or page looked like, it was done.
Good,
So,
good.
I that's my stillness, but I do want to be able to have that more often without looking at a piece of paper, like
Just a feeling.
having the feeling and having the thought, like, not overthinking, not having, this anxious feeling about what's next, because it's already happening.
Right. And I think that honestly, that comes from survival mode. Because when we were younger, in our mind, even though we weren't hungry or nothing, but you in survival mode. You're in survival mode, like, okay, what's next? What's next? What's next? What's next? And that's in our mind. Our grandparents and other women that were in our lives were like, oh, you're gonna be a strong, independent woman. We doing this, we making moves. And therefore you become, hyper, whatever. And you're trying to accomplish so many different things at one time because that's what you think you're supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
So you don't stop and look back and be like, okay, yeah, I did that. We don't take the time off to be like, okay, I did that. I just started, and for myself, I just started doing it the last couple years, like after a fashion show, take a break. Like you just put on a major production, go somewhere, get away. And but that was something I had to learn later on that I wish I would have known earlier because I've had burned out 2 or 3 times and that's not fun. So that's, something that I wish I would have known a little earlier.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, the face is B honey. Oh. That's Shayla Dominique Beauty Lip Oil.
Yeah. Real glossy honey, like fish grease.
Wait. Not the fish grease.
Chicken oil, oxtail juice.
All of it.
Drippy. Real drippy.
Say some words of encouragement, Shayla.
Oh. Oh goodness. So my words of encouragement for you as a friend first, as a business partner, as a life partner, would be to keep going at everything that you have going on. Stop being afraid of doing things. Let down your guard when it comes to advancing with yourself.
Yes.
Stop overthinking things. You're amazing.
Thank you.
I want you to keep going. I want you to keep just succeeding in what you're doing. Your path is bright. You've been going down there. Listen, it's a lot of light. It's a lot of lanes, but you can conquer all of them.
Thank you.
It's a privilege to be your friend, and I love you very much.
I love you too. Cheers.
Oh, cheers on that too.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, friend. I appreciate
You're welcome.
you.
You're welcome.
Honestly, like, this is
Yeah.
nothing to do. Like, the face is everything.
Yeah.
Like, it's flawless.
I like to come in, and you guys that are watching this, normally it's just like a 25 to 30-minute beat. But right now we just, we zhuzhing, we talking, we running out now.
And it's normal. This is normal. This is all the things that we normally do. We are a vibe
all the time.
We're a vibe. We're a vibe. So I appreciate, you being my first guest. Well, thank you guys so much for tuning in. We really, really appreciate you. This is just the beginning.
I'll be back.
Thank you so much for joining and watching Beyond the Face podcast. Make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe.